Released during the golden years of 2008, superhero movie created by Craig Mazin, somehow the creator of The Last of Us and The Hangover 2 and 3, and Chernobyl? I don't I don't really know. It's one of those movies that I honestly enjoyed watching when I was younger, with me having a pretty favorable bias towards the movie, with a lot of decent actors like Drake Bell and Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart specifically always throws me off that he's in this movie. I don't really know why he's in this movie, but whatever. Superhero movies should have been set for greatness. Sadly, critics and audiences alike clearly did not agree with me. 4.4 on IMDb. But today, I'll be sitting down with my friend Sid and rewatching to see if younger me's thoughts about the movie still hold up, and why exactly this parody flopped so hard. Superhero movie begins by introducing our protagonist, Rick Riker, aka Drake Bell, your stereotypical loser, and his best friend, Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart basically plays himself in this movie, so for the rest of this video, I'll just be referring to him by his name. Kevin Hart and Rick end up at Amalgamated, an animal testing company where Rick ends up getting touched by a few different animals. Are you laughing yet? No? Understood. Rick, through an accidental dragonfly bite, ends up getting superpowers. And if you need help imagining this, just think of Spider-Man 1. The entire movie is just Spider-Man 1. I know it's supposed to be a parody, but the jokes so far just kind of boil down to Spider-Man if it was stupid and random. It's so on the nose that I can't really say it's enjoyable, but I guess I need to give it a bit more time. We are then introduced to our antagonist, the Green Goblin. I mean Lou Landers, played by Christopher McDonald. Christopher McDonald, you know, the guy who plays Shooter McGavin and Happy Gilmore. Yay! We then get a few Spider-Man scenes of Rick learning about his new Dragonfly powers. Spider-Man 1, the Flash Thompson fight, and Spider-Man 1, the wall climbing scene. And the wall climbing scene did manage to get a laugh out of me. I wasn't expecting him to start breakdancing. After Rick goes to the bank to get a loan for a new car, he lets a bank robber escape, which ends up getting his uncle killed. Well, before his uncle dies, he does the stereotypical Spider-Man 1 with great power comes great responsibility thing. But instead of responsibility, he just says bitches, which it is a joke. It's a joke. A lot of this movie's humor, I don't think it even holds up to the times, if I'm being honest. After accidentally getting his uncle killed, Rick decides he wants to do more with his powers. We also get a quick glimpse at old Shooter McGavin, where we get to see that his powers allow him to drain the life force from people. And what he does to the body, like the first joke, that actually got a laugh out of me. Rick then meets Professor Xavier, and finally becomes Dragonfly. By the way, all of the toilet scenes, like the different rides with Professor Xavier, that one does get a laugh out of me to this day. Rick looks for a job that leads him to selling photos of Dragonfly to the presses. You know, J. Jonah Jameson. Anyways, we also learn on the side that Shooter's powers are meant to help keep him alive, with him needing to siphon a person's life force daily to continue living, which this idea is very good. I actually really enjoyed his power and overall his look more. I think I honestly liked him more than Dragonfly, than Drake Bell. And throughout this entire movie, the only thing that has been consistent is Kevin Hart giving 100%, while everyone else is giving around maybe 20 to 30%, which I think is amazing. I think overall they should have paid Kevin a lot more to be in this movie because he's pretty goddamn funny. We finally get the first fight between Shooter McGavin and Rick, aka the Dragonfly. I don't really know what Christopher McDonald's villain name is. I'm not gonna rewatch the movie to try and figure it out either. So for the rest of this, he's just gonna be known as Shooter, and I think you guys could already kind of tell because I have not called him anything else. After Rick loses this first fight, getting his diamond skin penetrated by throwing knives, you guys know it, the iconic flip scene where 3 knives hit him. It's been a meme for a while. It's not that crazy. We then get like a mini scene after this fight of it's basically a recreation of the Spider-Man kiss scene with his crush. Rick saves his crush, Jill. I think her name's Jill. from A Bunch of Thugs. Any scene with this girl, I absolutely hated. None of them were very funny. None of them were that great. So we're just gonna try not to discuss those. And I also just don't really plan on rewatching this again. This was torture. Anyways, we also get another Spider-Man scene of Rick trying not to pee while hanging on the ceiling. This one is a funnier gag, one of the funnier ones in the movie. It's just, I just can't really get over the fact that this entire movie is just kind of Spider-Man 1 recreated. And I understand, like, that's the point of a parody. It's to take something and add a comedic and exaggerated effect, basically, to it. Or make it, funnier. But the crime of this movie is that none of this shit is funny to me. I mean, maybe you guys have a different opinion, but I rewatched this with a straight face, and I think halfway through I did have to rewind it because I just started scrolling on TikTok. After Rick and Shooter fight one last time with nothing really to note, future me here, I wrote this script at 1 a.m. while very, very tired. This movie is terrible. The end finally being Rick falling from a building, holding his crush, or after they kiss, he finally gains his dragonfly wings and flies off into the night. This movie isn't as good as I remember, which I think says a lot about the way nostalgia works, and how even something as bad as superhero movie can still hold some charm, just because younger me found humping animals funny. But now looking at it with fresh eyes, I don't honestly understand how this movie was made, or how this is the same director slash writer that made half of the Hangover trilogy. One of my favorite trilogies, by the way. The gags aren't funny, and I don't think they were even funny in the early 2000s. And as a parody, I think it fails at its job. Overall, pretty shitty story. I wouldn't recommend watching. This one's hitting pretty low on the list with a 3.5 out of 10. No more parodies for a while.